So if you are buying a cake, somebody has to eat, and if you are writing an exam, you have to pass it. But if the exam is competitive examination, and you should compete with so many people, and if you are investing your money and the objective is generating returns. So NPS is a retirement scheme managed and administered by PFRDA, and it is making lot of inroads, and it's seeing lot of subscribers opening their account, not only for the tax benefits but also for the retirement wealth it is able to create through affordable means. Welcome to Learn by Choice. So in this video we are going to talk about how to check the returns generated on NPS. Is there any reliable and trustworthy site where I can go and check? By visiting npstrust.org.in. This is a website. The annual reports, and you get the annual report for the last few years, and you click the latest report 2019-20, and this is the report you get. To the page 42. This annual report is very comprehensive, talking about all the NPS related information and Atal Pension Yojana managed by PFRDA, Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. It's a very comprehensive booklet, and I request each and every NPS subscriber to go through this booklet. It's a yearly book, it's very informative. So go to page 42. PFRDA manages NPS not only for non-government employees but also for central government and state government employees. So go to this page 42. Here you get the returns generated. So for the last year FY20, the return generated by LIC is 6.47, and by State Bank of India pension fund is 8.32 and UTI is 7.02, whereas the benchmark is 7.26. So State Bank and LIC they have generated, and the trailing return also you see 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year and 7 years. So trailing return is nothing but the 7-year period, start of the NAV and the end of the NAV for the period of 7 years. It's 9.2 in case of LIC, and SBI it's 9.35 and UTI 9.27. So since inception of the scheme, so for central government, even though NPS was notified from 2004, but actual the fund management by these fund managers started from April 1, 2008. It is what mentioned here. Since inception, LIC has given a return of 9.39, State Bank of India pension fund by 9.82 and UTI 9.43, whereas the benchmark is 8.94. So this is the return, and here you can see the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year trailing return. So trailing return is, this is for central government employees, and here you can see the state government employees. So for state government employees, since inception the date is different. It's 2009 June 25. Here also the returns are given for the year FY20. LIC has given 6.62, State Bank of India 8.62, then UTI 7.13, whereas the benchmark is 7.72. So here the trailing return for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year is given. So you can refer this book and you can assess returns generated by NPS if you are coming under state government. And if you are in private sector or unorganized sector, we have opened the account through the corporate where you are employed, or as an individual you are opening an account. This is the return. There are fund managers. There are 7 fund managers: ICICI, Kotak, State Bank of India, UTI, HDFC and LIC and Birla. So for FY20, I'll just minimize it. For FY20, the returns are, in case of tier 1 scheme E equity, FY20 it's negative. The trailing returns since inception of tier 1 scheme E is equity, returns are positive, 7.54 by ICICI, Kotak 6.83, 0.2 by SBI, UTI 7.38, HDFC 8.26, LIC 4.94, Birla minus 2.5. Then come to scheme E tier 2. There are 3 or 4 asset classes: equity, corporate bonds, government securities and alternate investment funds. So these are all the various asset classes under tier 1 and tier 2. Here you can refer, get the tier 2 equity performance since inception, trailing return 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and for financial year basis till FY20. Then here it's talking about tier 1 corporate bonds, what is the returns and performance. And then this is tier 2 corporate bonds and government securities. G for government securities, tier 1, what is the performance. And in tier 2 account, basically NPS gives two kind of accounts, tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 is your core account and tier 2 is like your investment account where you can put you can contribute and your surplus money you can take out whenever you need the money. But in tier 1 you can deposit money and you can take out as per the regulations, maybe at the age of retirement or at the age of 60 years. Here it's government security tier 2, performance is given for FY20 for all the fund managers, it's all in positive, and since inception the government security in tier 2 also positive. So come to alternate funds. In tier 1 the returns are provided. So this alternate fund A is started only from financial year 2018. That's why the other years from 2011 to 2017 is blank. So since inception returns are provided, and this is the performance of NPS Lite scheme. The fund managers are provided, and what is the return? NPS Lite is the light variant of NPS. Here the cost structure is very low. Then the corporate CG. So this is a scheme for specified sector of corporates. So what is the performance? LIC and SBI is given. Then Atal Pension Yojana returns also given. It's since inception 8.86, 8.73 or 8.93. And for FY20 also the returns are given. So 7.96, 9, 7.36 and 7.72. So in this chart they are comparing the performance of CG scheme, central government, with the mutual fund industry for the period as on March 31st, 2020. So this is the mutual fund industry, the benchmark. So the returns of all the three fund managers, LIC, SBI and UTI, because only these three fund managers are managing the central government scheme. So 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. So for all the period, the returns generated by these fund managers are superior when compared to the mutual fund industry benchmark. Then for 5 year period and 7 year period is given. So this is the comparative performance of central government scheme of NPS versus mutual fund for the same period. And this is the NPS Lite versus the benchmark by the fund managers. Then the performance of corporate CG versus mutual fund industry for the period 31st 2020. This is given. So if you are under corporate CG, you can compare the performance. In the Atal Pension Yojana, there are subscribers under Atal Pension Yojana. So even though the returns doesn't matter because government is guaranteeing certain pension here, the Atal Pension Yojana, the scheme allows so yearly exit of from the scheme. So if you are exiting from the scheme, the returns matter a lot to you. So here also the performance is above the benchmark. Then the scheme E, tier 1 versus mutual fund industry. So that is also given. Scheme E, tier 2 versus mutual fund industry. Then the scheme C, tier 1 versus mutual fund industry. So ECG are the various asset classes. This may be applicable for corporate and the private sector NPS schemes, where you have to contribute as per the specified asset classes. Under equity, what proportion you want to invest, in corporate bonds in what proportion you want to invest, and the government securities in what proportion you want to. So this is a very wonderful comparison and chart. And this booklet also talks about various initiatives taken by NPS Trust and PFRDA. So about the NPS and its outreach program. Thank you for watching Learn by Choice. Please subscribe to Learn by Choice for more and more videos.